Stay Alive is a survival horror tabletop role playing game with elements of violence, emotional trauma, biological infection, and may include other mature content or themes. Viewer discretion is advised.
Government officials insist that this is an isolated incident. We will continue to keep you informed.
Our story begins 14 months after first infection. Rescue Station Delta, now currently under the supervisory control of Dr. LeBend, and 4 survivors, whose twice daily screening on this day stands out as being slightly unusual. Rather than being served their ticket and sent to the mess hall to grab their rations for the day, another step in the perpetual existence of life inside the rescue stations, you all find yourself segmented. Brought to a room largely devoid of personnel, especially around such a busy camp. Privacy is hard to come by. And the hanging plastic and clean white walls seem to be in stark contrast to the military greens and overall sense of dirt and decay that has built up over 14 long months of communal living with everybody trying their best to get by. Sat in chairs made of hard plastic and metal, brought together with familiarity, already existing with one another, though friendships perhaps not entirely forged. You sit in silence in this room for a few minutes, providing yourselves an opportunity to ask why you were there and what you were doing, when the door to the office you've been brought to opens and you see a relatively tall and thin man, a white lab coat stained in hard scrubbed, double bleached white, a representative of some type of medical team that seems to be the large scale purveyors of whatever is taking place behind the scenes on a medical level. Without saying a word to any of you, moves and sits behind a desk that is stationed in front of you. A very small and cozy room, most of the comfort and space provided on the opposite side where the doctor has sat down. Looking across all of you, there is a general sense of curiosity that seems to linger in his beady eyes that cut through the spectacles, and the slight strip of thinning hair at the top of his head seems to match a little bit of a thin patchiness near the chin point of his beard as he begins peering you over. I apologize for any inconvenience. The resources we've had to work with are limited. Rose Montgomery, college student, no discernible skills. You've been with us 7 months. And kind of looks up at you briefly before flipping the sheet of paper on a clipboard and going back down. Justin Thomas. Well liked. No complaints or concerns in your personnel file. Not much need or opportunity for your skill set in the rescue station, it would seem. The clicking of the light above you, the soft hum of the air conditioner in the office, one of the few places that seems to have some semblance of working electricity, a rarity around here to be sure. All kind of agitating you in this clearly not particularly sociable doctor. Transitioning on, flips the sheet again. Arthur Treacher, fisherman, formerly of the Coast Guard. Some interesting inclusions in your file, Mr. Treacher. Seems as if you have expressed little interest in being selected for the ARK program. And Josie Myers, photojournalist, documenting tragic events for the sake of posterity, though capturing a moment in time many wish to forget, seemingly not in high demand. All of your medical reports have been consistently clean. Your behavioral records from your time in the camp have been stellar, with the exception of a number of borrowed items here and there, Mr. Thomas. However, in your personnel files, there are a number of considerable inclusions. Specifically, in the time that you have all been here, you have not forged any social bonds. Our psychological screening profiles have flagged you as being unique and interesting individuals, though none of you have made great efforts to connect with one another or anyone else in the camp during your time. I would like to provide an opportunity for all of you to explain why, if there is such a reason.
Look now, when you get close to people and then they get bitten and die, it just exacerbates the hurt. So if you don't get close, you don't get hurt.
Distance as a matter of practicality, Mr. Treacher, a wise notion, perhaps.
It's important to
anyone
stay
else-
just.
Excuse me.
It's in. My mistake. It's important to stay disconnected from your subjects. Provide a unbiased perspective.
Cataloging. This too will serve as a viable reasoning. Mr. Thomas, Miss Montgomery, do either of you have reasoning behind your moderate isolation in your time here?
Think you've got me wrong. I get along with everybody.
Yes, that is correct, Mr. Thomas, but you have yet to seemingly connect and tie to others in a way that has been documented by a number of our observers. Psychologically, you are liked by all and have connected with next to no one.
What can I say? I'm special.
Interesting. And Ms. Montgomery, is there a reason you have found yourself retreating inward during your time with us?
I'm just not very good at making friends.
Involuntarily distant. Very well. As all of you are, I'm sure, aware, ARK Industries developed the ARK program, a series of special satellite locations wherein the government has invested great resources in rebuilding. The people there have their own homes, running water, electricity, creature comforts. It is considered to be a rather desirable avenue of pursuit, and yet some of you have not even applied for the last several selections. You possess no unique or discernible skills that are considered a requirement for life in the new ARK project. And yet, this is a desirable outcome, a life of safety, a return to normalcy, is it not?
But at what cost?
Well, Mr. Treacher, thank you for providing what I believe is referred to as an inroad. As the ARK project continues to develop, I have been informed that the military is no longer dedicating assets to preventative research. Instead, a great many assets are being deployed for the purposes of defense and eradication, or defense and protection. And at the apex of my research, I have found myself devoid of the typical resources I would be able to employ, especially to produce a fix for the situation we now find ourselves in. And that is where you come in. I am not in control of the military assets here at Rescue Station Delta. I do, however, have a great deal of influence and pull regarding the comings and goings for medical purposes. Miss Montgomery, Miss Myers, Mr. Treacher, and Mr. Thomas, I would like to offer you an extremely rare opportunity. If you are interested in fetching for me something very specific from a location very far away, and you are able to return it to me, I will see to it that on the selection rotation following your return, you will find yourselves on the name fully listed for selection to the ARK program. Safety and comfort within arm's reach should you succeed.
Why?
You possess no connections here. You all have demonstrated and provided information in your file that seems to suggest you would make ideal candidates. You are fighting for something, running from something, looking to explore the world, dangerous or not, and perhaps do some good while you're at it, Mr. Thomas.
Part that you're leaving out is that since we don't have any friends, we're expendable and no one will miss us.
I apologize if I am not upfront enough for you, Mr. Treacher. Yes, your deaths will go largely unnoticed, and that is part of your selection.
What is it that you need us to go find?
There is a prime
Or
sample
fetch.
still located in the Center for Diseases Control viral lab. You are to travel there. You'll be provided access codes, rudimentary supplies for your departure, and should you successfully return with this prime sample, the valued cost in exchange is your name on the list for ARK selection.
I'm sorry, did you say the CDC? As in the one in Atlanta?
That is correct. You will cover approximately 1,700 miles on your journey.
By ourselves?
That depends on how many of you decide to take advantage of this offer. You will have a better chance of success together. A number of tests and hypothetical thought experiments have taken place, and we have determined that a collection of 4 is the ideal number. Non-competing personalities, differing motivations, everything perfectly designed for you to function as a successful unit.
And as soon as we get back, we're top of the list.
Or the next rotation, that is correct, yes. I do not control when survivors are selected for ARK deployment. However, I will ensure that on the rotation following your return, you will be among those selected.
I have one condition.
Yes, Miss Myers, what is your condition?
If I'm going to be traveling 1,700 miles in very dangerous territory, as it were, seems like a perfect opportunity to be documenting what's really happening out there. I want batteries.
I am sure additional battery supplies can be arranged to a limited extent. Perhaps there is benefit in having such documentation, and the condition is agreed to so long as you are willing to share the material collected during your journey.
Seems reasonable.
So, are all of you ready to save humanity?
He needs batteries for a camera. I'm going to be a bit more practical. I'm going to need a knife and a whetstone. Somebody's got to feed us out there. Guessing all you tech savvy youngins ain't too hip on skinning something.
Like
Very
taking
well.
its skin off?
I was going to ask for protein powder, but that makes sense.
I have every faith your collected force will provide some form of success. I'm afraid we will not be able to provide you with protein powder, Mr. Thomas. Though I feel, in the circumstances you may find outside of the safety of the rescue station, that may not have been high on the list for emergency collection from those who remained outside. Perhaps you can still find some. So, what is it? And as he says that, you see him flip all of the papers back and sets the clipboard there on the desk and sits back, hands kind of almost too stoically posed in his lap.
I'm in. Might as well be out there than taking up space in here.
It's excellent, Mr. Treacher.
Way more to document outside these walls than in them, so. As long as I get those batteries.
An accurate assessment, Miss Myers. Wonderful. Ms. Montgomery and Mr. Thomas.
I'm in.
The ARK is the only place around here that people would go to, right? So
If selected
theoretically,
from another rescue station, yes, that is correct, Miss Montgomery.
Okay, I'll go.
I will provide you an additional bonus to our arrangement. The prime sample is required. Once you have gained access to its location, you will be provided additional details as to how it is needed to be collected. It will prove difficult and dangerous, I have no doubt. But if you go that far and are successful, there may be other things of value you can collect while you are there. There
How do
is
you
an
plan to-
addition of 5 other samples we would like.
5?
If you successfully return all of the samples in total, the first one will guarantee all of you a spot in the ARK. For each additional sample we request that you bring back, it will provide you a +1.
How do you plan to communicate those additional things to us when we're not here? Are you going to give us like a cell
Access
phone?
to a secured terminal. You must make your way inside the facility, and once you have done so, you will need to activate their communications array. When you have done so, I will receive notice, and you will be provided further detail and instructions. If you can secure mobile communications, I will ensure you receive the coded frequency for the Inspector and Doctor's Health Terminal here as well. Unfortunately, these resources are considered too valuable for military personnel and cannot be handed to you upon your departure.
Why you're here, Justin, for the fancy tech things.
Oh, I can handle all of that. I'm just trying to make sure I know what the actual plan is.
You recognize I am dealing with a bit of a underwhelming set of resources to accomplish and finish some of my resources. My research itself is rather important, though convincing those who have no understanding of how it works seemingly has proven a more difficult challenge than I would have anticipated.
The +1, is that would it be somebody if they're maybe if they're not here, we could leave it for them, or
Anyone of your choosing, as long as they are verified not to be among the infected, Miss Montgomery.
Okay.
Very well. We'll have you leaving in the next 90 minutes. During that time, additional screenings and tests will be performed. Some of your special requests will be seen to, and you'll be escorted to the main gate on the eastern edge of the security station. If any of you have doubts or hesitation, please make them known now. We would prefer to find a replacement as soon as possible. Very well. Congratulations on your acceptance to the ARK program. If you'll excuse me. And you see him stand up, scoop the clipboard off the top of the desk in a bit of a fluid motion, and disappear out the door, leaving you alone in the room. Is anybody looking to do anything else right away?
I'd like to go get my Jordans, please.
Okay. So Justin immediately leaves the area looking for the Jordans. Okay. Josie, Arthur, Rose, are any of you doing anything?
I'll just pack up what little belongings I have, get my fishing kit and compass, and go and wait to get poked and prodded before I leave.
Okay.
Yes. I think probably the same for Josie. I'm gonna just grab a few things, primarily, we don't have a lot, so definitely got my camera on my neck now, though.
Okay.
Nothing. Nothing special. Just gonna grab a few things, put them in my very well worn, like little backpack.
Okay. So as you go through the process of collecting and packing up your various items, preparing yourself for a bit of a journey unknown to some extent, all of you finding yourselves in various states of introspection and repose for a brief moment until all of you at one point or another are somewhat aggressively approached by some of the standing military personnel, seemingly time having expired and waiting for you to now return to the station to report for final screenings and release. As you're brought back to the medical tent area, largely familiar to you. It's not filled with the long lines, the theories of standout tests and different stations and tables that you would normally take part in as this daily process of screening and verification takes place. Now it is largely empty. Dr. Lebend in front of you waiting, the same sort of beady eyes pushing through his meticulously cleaned glasses. A female wearing military fatigues and looser ponytails than you might expect, braided back, standing next to him, having just finished placing a bag on the ground near his feet. As you're escorted in, sort of at your staggered pacing. Is that all? Yes, that is all. Thank you for your help. And before he's even finished, you almost see her walking away, a bit of an air of frustration or a disinterest, seemingly, in her actions and mannerisms. Dr. Lebend leans down very slowly, almost cautiously, the 3 feet down to the ground to pick up the small bag before stepping forward, pulling out what appears to be a half sort of plastic strip of batteries. Only 6 in total still remaining. The cellophane from the full pack looks to have been maybe closer to 18, still intact, having slowly been peeled away to reveal more batteries. A slotted hunting knife that seems to have a sheath meant to inlay somewhere around a belt. And as the doctor begins to kind of assemble your collective in front of him, Justin hands you a very small bag which appears to have 3 squares of Hershey's chocolate in it. We're unable to locate your original request. Hopefully you will find a source of protein that is also chocolate flavored and acceptable replacement. Do you need to attend to anything else before you depart? Very well. If you happen to return or gain contact with this facility, please refer to yourself as codename Delta. You can request me on communications using codename Lazarus. If there's nothing else, please follow me. And you see him turn without almost addressing any of you in any meaningful kind of way. Clearly a huge disconnect between this doctor's perspective on your presence here and what he's trying to do and accomplish. And whether you're following or not, seems intent on following this very strict and regimented, thought-out plan. This segue apparently in his head to bring you to the gate. However, certainly not forced and certainly not compelled before following. Is anybody doing anything else?
No, I'm gonna look around for any kind of like, I don't know, tissues or Kleenex or anything like that, and try to clean off my like giant tortoiseshell glasses. And pull my little like raccoon backpack tied around me.
Okay. So in the medical tent, there is a number of different wrappings, gauzes, limited cleaning supplies, things of that nature that you're able to kind of quickly.
Maybe I'll scoop a few of those into my backpack.
Okay.
He's
sure.
already gone.
You can grab, we'll say, a couple bandages and some additional gauzes as well. Sure.
Just in case.
Perfect. Anyone else?
I'll
looking to do
follow.
anything right away?
Well, I'll just follow on the way out. And when we get out there, like, is there any hustle and bustle around the camp, or is it pretty quiet right now?
There's people moving about, typical to what you'd expect. It seems like it's getting just after midday, and the tail end of the ration line seems to be slowly coming to a dwindle. While there is space specifically designated, well, presumably in all of the rescue stations for communal eating, it is not uncommon, especially after so much time, for people to sort of take to the open inlets and form something of an informal town square, so to speak. So there's a number of individuals sitting on stumps or equipment out in the open directly in front of the tent, eating their food and talking with one another, spending time as well. There's a reasonably decent collection. Most of the people are up and about or in the middle of tending to some of their responsibilities.
Sure. I imagine it's part of, just kind of who Justin is. During this time of the day, he probably walks around and like, maybe kicks like a makeshift soccer ball or something with the kids. Is there perhaps a gathering of children somewhere around here that I could just like go kind of do my usual rounds and just say goodbye as we're headed out?
Sure. So you begin going outside, and the general chatter of the area begins to fill up. The interior of some of the organic lab facilities dissipating away a little bit, and the chaos and roil of some of the surrounding areas seems to become more familiar to you in a more casual sense. Trucks, equipment, and a number of components moving around still, but you do see a number of children at play, a number of parents seemingly eating their food and kind of watching them. Yeah, anyways, so we're trying to make a go and sort of hushing away to talk to one another. But you're able to find those collections and ultimately kind of make your quick rounds. Everyone seemingly interested in your demeanor, though. Are you specifically trying to tell them you are leaving?
Nah, just kind of as I would normally, approach, but this time I'll be like, hey, you can't play with y'all for a little bit. I gotta work on something else for a couple of days, but hey, I got this for you, and just want to hand over a chocolate bar to the kids.
Okay. Do me a favor and make an effort to be diplomatic in your departure, so as to otherwise be unnoticed.
Sure. Uh, yeah, with just 13.
Okay. So, seemingly with nobody the wiser, your smile and gifts being offered are more than enough to draw the attention away from some of the nerves that may yet linger on the fringes of your mind. And everyone is both sad to know that you will not be able to play in the near future, but is also very happy that you stopped by, appreciative of the gesture, effort, and time. Very much excited and anticipating seeing you tomorrow, even if you cannot play. Is anybody else doing anything before departure?
I'm probably actually following Justin from a significant distance. But I'm mostly fiddling with my camera. I'm lining up camera shots, fiddling with the focus, and I'm not taking any more of these pictures. I don't need to take any more of these pictures unless there's a specific shot that I feel captures something that I haven't already captured, but I've been here for a long time. I've taken a lot of pictures here. So I'm mostly just refining my skills as we prepare for more opportunities to capture moments yet to be captured. But I'm not talking to anybody or giving any impression that I would like to talk to anybody.
Okay. And Arthur or Rose? Other than tightening the backpack or securing your knife to your waist?
Follow them to the gates.
Okay. So, after a very short walk, probably 10 minutes across the interior portion of Rescue Station Delta, Justin with the Jordans collected, chocolate now depleted. Arthur seemingly waiting on the very edge of impatience, Rose standing nearby with a very obvious sense of anxiety, and Josie trailing behind Justin, cataloging anything of worth before excited and jovial Justin too arrives at the gate. You see Dr. Leben waiting at the very end of it. Very good. You're all here. Well, if there is nothing else, I am happy to see you on your way. Good luck. Ensure that you do not get infected. That would be counterproductive to your aims. Thank you.
All right.
These individuals are part of Project Delta. Please open the gate for their release.
Oh, wait. Is it 1,700 miles one way or there and back?
A singular trip. Your arrival will bring you 1,700 miles.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
Rescue Station Delta is just southeast of Carlsbad, California. Should you find a map, I highly encourage you to investigate an efficient route there, and if possible, find a functioning vehicle as soon as you are able. It will expedite the process.
Justin, I hope those fancy shoes of yours got some good tread on them.
Hey, they're great.
They look nice.
As you're
Thanks.
standing there, you see Dr. Lebend punch in a series of keys on this security gate before giving the thumbs up to the guard that's sitting up in the tower. You hear the decompression of this locking mechanism, something that is hydraulically sealed or otherwise maintained through some kind of existing mechanism in place. One of the few, obviously, that seems supplied with a ready source of electricity. And The gate, probably about 10 feet wide, detaches from the massive and thickly in-ground fencing post. As you see this gate swing open, a largely unfinished and dirt road directly in front of you that seems to cut through the forest. Rescue Station Delta's location, probably a little bit of a mystery to all of you, based solely on the fact that they were chosen to be rural and most people were brought there rather than navigating there on their own.
When Dr. Leben went to go and put in that code to open the gate, is there any way I can try to notice what that code was and kind of keep a mental note of that for later?
Sure, make an effort to notice.
7.
Okay. Dr. Leben clearly does not have a great deal of surreptitious awareness, and otherwise did not seem to be trying to heavily obscure the code as it was being input. So you do have a pretty decent amount of confidence that you recall what the gate code for Dr. Leben would be. I'll go ahead and send that to you in private.
Much
You
appreciated.
can utilize that how you see fit. Is anybody else looking to do anything?
I walk out.
Okay.
I'll follow.
Yeah, I'll follow. I will once we're a little bit out and the gate starts to close, or after it's closed, I'll snap a picture from the outside.
Okay.
By
And
that I
as
mean
you
I'll take a few.
Okay. As you depart, the sound of the interior crowds and collective people dissipate away, the mechanical components and noises, the military trucks and equipment, all drifting into this faded hinder, now just the steps on the road forward. All of you in your collected gear looking specifically to take the next steps in front of you. What is everyone's first effort to make as you begin venturing out beyond the walls?
We're in California. We're heading to Georgia. We got to head east. So I'm going to check my compass, compare it to the road that we're on, and point out the way we should be going.
Okay.
I'm going to be looking around. It serves a dual purpose. I'm keeping an eye out for specifically Xerk, but the dual purpose is if I can see the Xerk before it sees us, I can get a picture or two. So
Okay.
I'm trying to notice any thing worth documenting, or that's really it. It's not really about danger. It's what's worth documenting.
Okay. Go ahead and make an effort to notice for me, please. Is anybody looking to do anything else?
I've got something once these rules have been resolved.
8.
8. Understood. No Xerk in the immediate area. It seems as if the terrain itself is maybe not conducive to super easy travel. The surrounding area is perhaps one of the few this far south and this far west that's going to have a little bit of a thicker tree coverage, specifically to mitigate sound and movement. So it doesn't look like there's a lot of activity gathering immediately around the exterior of the rescue station. Justin?
Yeah, once we're kind of probably 10 minutes out from the camp, like enough where they can't see or hear anything that we do, I'm gonna just kind of walk over towards Josie and just be like, "Hey, Josie J," and reach into one of my sweatpants pockets and pull out some additional batteries that I definitely stole earlier today.
You are my favorite, and I will reach for them if you will let me take them.
Oh yeah, sure. Drop them in your hands.
Yeah. Thank you. I have a feeling we're going to need them. Well, I'm going to need them.
say they don't do me any good, right? I don't have the
Right.
flashlight, but you just click away.
Should have got a flashlight. It's poor planning. Thank you, though. I appreciate it.
Navigate by the moon and the stars, child. Moon and stars.
Yeah, I've taken a lot of pictures under the moon and the stars. It's not great lighting. It's not ideal. It's fine. We'll make it work. We'll make it work.
Well, you really need an extended exposure with kind of like a. Never mind. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I'll just go grab that real quick from the.
No, it's a setting on. Never mind. It's fine. You're good. Don't worry about it.
What kind of camera do you think I have?
I don't know what kind of.
Not a great one. It's probably okay, but in reality, I don't know cameras, but I will say this is not a fancy camera. I mean, it's fancy enough. It would have what you said, and Josie would have known that. Minnie doesn't know things.
Okay.
But it's definitely an older-ish camera. And by that, I mean, it's older mostly in the sense that it dies very quickly. It eats the battery very quickly, which is why I need batteries all the time.
You can probably get it at Goodwill, but it would cost like $30 at Goodwill kind of camera.
Yes. Yeah. There we go. There we go.
I gotcha. Nah, so I'm there's a moment where Justin just looks at the camera and it's like, oh, that's right. And like he clearly is about to say something and then doesn't, and just turns and skips away.
Good call, Justin. We're learning.
Skipping all the turns. Okay. So, is anybody doing anything else as you are going through your travel process?
I listen to these two banter on. I just kind of smirk and shake my head and keep on trudging forward. I would like to keep an eye out for any useful debris that we may come across, string, tinfoil, those sorts of things.
Okay. Go ahead and make an effort to notice for me as well. We'll say then after about 45 minutes of travel, you run into what apparently at one point would have been a military checkpoint of some kind. You see there is a number of railings, two-stage series of barbed wire. What appears to be one military truck, large in scale, a personnel carrier, tipped over, and another one seemingly on the opposite side of the road with the hood up. No immediate signs of struggle or distress, but beyond the two trucks and on the opposite side of this checkpoint, probably about 100 yards or so beyond, you do see two slow-moving Xerk in the middle of the road, almost aimless in their shambling. They're a great distance away, and were it not for them being entirely silhouetted on the roadway, might be a little bit hard to see, but otherwise are seemingly unaware of their surroundings, but given the circumstances, that stands out as being not particularly surprising as well. Would anyone like to do anything right away?
We all see them. I'm gonna try to. Sorry, y'all. I'm going to creep a little bit closer. I'm gonna zoom in as much as I can without losing a lot of quality. I'm trying to capture them before they notice me, so that it's a Xerk in its natural environment.
Sure.
But I'm trying to get a little bit closer. Trying to stay quiet, maybe duck behind a tree of some kind just to give myself a little bit of coverage, and I'm going to try to snap a picture. I'm going to try to gracefully approach so that I don't attract their attention.
All right, sure. Go ahead and make an effort to be graceful.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, that's an 8.
So you see Josie moving towards the two separated barricades, slowly and delicately moving underneath some of the barbed wire to find a position shot to take a stable photo from. One of the Xerk in the road seems to be holding almost perfectly still. Not purposefully so, just seemingly with no intent or direction of travel. The other one seemingly beginning to move off the roadway, just north. At this proximity, you begin to hear perhaps some more activity in the surrounding area, Josie.
It's not ideal. I'm gonna take a picture real quick.
Okay.
Flash off. You know.
Sure.
Do I see any? I know I hear it. Do I see anything? Any movement?
I would first have
Can
you
I-
make an
oh.
effort to focus on your
Okay.
intended capture of your subjects,
Okay.
and we'll see how intent you are on that.
I'm very focused on that. So that's a 13.
Wow.
I
So,
roll. It's 2 natural 6s in a row.
in
for
addition
me, so.
to lighting, aperture, angle, subject pose, there is a great degree of highlight that you put into capturing this sort of standing Xerk, the representation of a singular humanoid monolith on a otherwise deserted and empty road amid destroyed military equipment, the perfect metaphor for your travels out into the world. However, the gurgles and groans of nearby Xerk don't seemingly ping to you as being of a specific distance or of a specific range, and outside of the two that you can visually assess and see, you don't immediately take in any additional threats. But
While
having
Josie
captured
is
your subject, you are good to do that. Yes. Justin, what would you like to do?
while Josie is doing this, I'm just gonna like just turn to Arthur and Rose really quick and just like it's low under my breath. I'm like, do you think she's remembering the rule of thirds right now?
I don't know what that is.
I saw your mouth move there, Arthur, but I didn't hear you. But Rose, it's like framing a picture where like there's like lines, everything is split. There's like 9 squares, and you want to like put things in specific spots in order to like make like the most artistically beautiful image. You typically want something and like you want to like follow lines, and the third never mind. It's
No,
fine.
it's fine. It's good. It's good. Should we keep going though? Are we?
Without her? No.
Well, no. Can we go?
Yeah. Let me go grab her, and I'll just like. Sorry.
Before we move on, we should probably check these trucks and see if there's anything we can take off of them that we might need. Straps of fabric, some cabling, maybe, anything like that.
That is a good idea. Let me grab Josie, and then let's look at the trucks. And I'll just like jog over towards where Josie is, like doing that fit guy coming from a workout type of deal.
Okay.
And
Just like almost glistening and ready to go.
Just like get to be like
Effortless.
5 feet away from her and just be like,
Beautiful.
hey, you ready?
Shh.
No,
Two
like
more.
seriously.
Two more.
We have been here for 30 minutes. We have months of travel ahead of time. You're going to run out of batteries if you keep taking this many pictures.
I'm just gonna real quick scan through the last couple shots that I took, and if they look, they'll look okay enough, and I'll go to quietly.
Come on.
Shh.
As you join in Josie's position, Rose and Arthur, currently waiting for you to wrap up and recollect before you strip down some of these vehicles. Rose and Arthur, you see what appears to be 2 more coming out from the forest line, casually walking from the forest line towards the road, almost as if in a similar fashion to a deer looking to cross a path in the wild. not seemingly having noticed you right away, what would you like to do?
Are there any rocks or anything nearby that I can pick up?
Go ahead and make an effort to notice your surroundings to find something of value.
Okay.
Arthur, are you looking to do anything right away?
Very slowly put my hand towards my knife and just kind of gesture at everybody to just stay quiet. Try not to make any sudden moves.
So 15?
Okay. The road itself, though unfinished, is still a designated road, meaning most of the large or potentially impactful geological formations have been smoothed out in a very purposeful way. But quickly shifting your gaze to the very edge of it, a small declination on either side sees you spot out a small collection where it seems like maybe just a naturally occurring aggregate of small stones take place, and you find several lumped together that actually appear to be about softball size.
Okay, I'll just take 2 of those as quietly as possible. And I'm gonna, almost annoyingly so, almost pressing into Arthur, like as close as I possibly can without encroaching on his personal space.
Okay.
Just gonna take my hand and put it on her shoulder, kind of in a calming, soothing motion.
Okay. Justin and Josie, are either of you looking to address now, seeing 2 Xerk in front and 2 Xerk behind you?
Like, do one of these things, like crouch down and like we went around.
I'm gonna take a picture. And
Don't
then,
give me
Okay.
that. I'm
Josie's gonna die.
don't
Okay.
you take my camera? Let's go. We all go that. That happens.
I would like Josie to make an effort to focus again, please.
Okay. Y'all, these dice have been so kind. That's another whatever I rolled last time. 13.
Okay. And Justin, as you see Josie quickly almost become a human tripod, snapping more subjects directly in front of her, what is it you were trying to do?
Just gonna put a hand on her shoulder, a hand in front of the lens finder, and just nope, not right now. And just basically 2 hands on the camera, walk away. And she can continue to hold the camera too, but I'm holding the camera and we're moving.
Okay.
We are navigating
Okay.
away from the Xerk as we kind of
Okay.
circle back towards Arthur and Rose.
Okay, fine. I'll
Okay.
get a picture with all of them. It'll be better if I'm further away anyway. Okay, yeah, I'll go with
Sure, whatever you want to tell yourself. Come on.
Very quietly mumbling under my breath the shots that I will get when I'm further away to reassure myself that it's okay. There will be more opportunities.
So, to be clear, you have Xerk in front of you and Xerk behind. So, how are you looking to navigate and where?
Like,
Personally, I'm thinking like, so if they're here and here, we go this way
yeah.
to get back
Into
to the group.
wood?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay.
To grandmother's
Trying to-
house.
Trying to break eye line. I'm gonna have both of you go ahead and make an effort to be graceful. I will provide you an opportunity to use an effort within your fitness as well, if you would prefer to do that.
I would absolutely prefer fitness. Please and thank you.
I'm just
I am
gonna.
surprised.
Hi. Ooh. That grace roll is a 5.
10.
Okay.
I'm gonna die.
So, as you see Justin with the hand sandwich over the camera lens, looking to slowly segue Josie out of the immediate area, eventually it seems as if Josie is compliant with the request to the point where it's like, okay, we'll get some distance shots. And that's when you take note that near where Rose and Arthur are standing at a distance away, 2 Xerk slowly walking across the road and a third pushing out of the tree line. You're able to get a gauge and see that Arthur and Rose have both shifted off of the edge, or looking to try and lay low and minimize movement. But you can see them, and the draw itself apparently too great. And rather than focus on a stealthy departure, Justin, you hear the behind you as the finger you put on the front of the camera seems to have reactivated the flash. And you immediately see two of the Xerk on the road directly in front of Rose and Arthur turn.
Rose, give me one of them rocks.
Okay.
And the opposite direction that J and J were, I want to chuck that rock as far and as hard as I can into the woods, the opposite direction, to try to make noise and distraction over there.
I'm going to say first make an effort to utilize your fitness in targeting the area distance that is most effective here.
That would be an 11.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to say, with Rose's assistance providing the proper mechanism, a well-placed toss, go ahead and make an effort to influence the attention of these Xerk in front of you. Well prepared.
Now I only have one rock.
That is a 7.
Okay. So, Josie, as you see the cloudy eyes of one of these decayed and bloated Xerk turn and begins looking your direction, it almost turns off to look just slightly beside you, and both you and Justin freezing in a moment. Seemingly its eyesight mitigated and decayed as part of its overall decomposition when you hear this loud crack as a rock strikes a tree on the opposite side of the road, the same direction that the Xerk were heading. Both of their heads immediately snap, and you see them almost in this predatory approach as opposed to this shamble begin, moving a little bit quicker. And different from what you've seen thus far, from the tree line that you see Josie and Justin heading into, and opposite now where these two shambling Xerk are going, you see one almost at a full sprint and place its hands on the side of the road, almost leaping, similar to a gorilla leaping through trees as it jumps across the road before sprinting and disappearing into the forest line.
So are all the Zerg currently distracted and occupied?
They seem to be heading into the tree line. The Xerk directly in the middle of the road in front of Josie, the first captured subject, remains unmoved and seemingly unaffected by any of the surrounding circumstances.
I'm not
But
going to worry about
otherwise,
him right now.
the other Xerk seem to have disappeared off from the main road in front of you.
We have to go now. And I just want to kind of usher Rose and be like, we are moving, and just kind of try to get away from this situation as quickly as possible.
The exact same maneuver with Josie.
Okay.
I think I'm halfway turned, like I'm thinking about taking the picture, but I don't know if I've ever seen a Xerk move that fast, so I don't think I'm actually moving my camera up. I'm just kind of staring. But when Justin prompts me, I'll start walking or running or just sprinting away.
So I'm going to have both Josie and Justin go ahead and make an effort to utilize your fitness in this circumstance. I'm going to have Arthur and Rose go ahead and make an effort to be deft in your approach.
Ooh.
That grace or just deafness generally?
Just your deft, yeah.
Okay, cool.
That's a 7 on my end.
Okay.
A 2.
11.
Okay.
7. 7 for my grace. No, fitness.
Okay.
They're the same.
Okay. So we'll say for the sake of all of you working that out, Josie and Justin, you make your way into the tree line, obscuring your forms with the surrounding vegetation. Arthur and Rose begin making their way up the road, straddled on either side of it, looking to remain low, but creating space between the tree lines that they just saw occupied and the tree line that seemed to feed into the presence of previous Xerk just moments before. As Arthur and Rose eventually approach the barricades, the barbed wire and tipped over truck, seemingly part of some riotous event, some great turmoil that took place. And Rose, you would now see from this position as well, the hood on the opposite truck seems to have been propped open, the one that has not been tipped over. Arthur, as you eventually press yourself up against the standing truck, looking to get eyes on Josie and Justin, almost trying to mirror the action, Rose kind of pressing herself up against the truck on the opposite side before continuing to move forward. Though whatever took place with this truck and the exposure of its bottom side to the elements seems to have already added a significant amount of structural decay, a significant amount of rust and breakdown taking place. And as you lean against it, Rose, you feel the bottom undercarriage of the back portion of the truck give way and fall directly into the truck's interior as this thin sheet of metal now seemingly destroyed. And that's when you begin to hear this rattle come from a distance.
Okay.
Oh,
Nothing immediately at first, but you begin to hear it a little bit louder, a little bit more as the sounds of the birds begin to dissipate away. And Josie, as you are inside, Rose, as you are inside this vehicle, you hear this clicking and clacking as you're surrounded by darkness, a plume of dust seemingly dropping off of all of the hanging remnants, the tattered fabric that provided the tarp covering for this personnel carrier. A scattered mess of thrown supplies or discarded items littering one of the corners, but this clicking eventually emerges as you see Xerk, or the top half of one, crawling towards you as you lay on the inside of this personnel carrier.
No.
What would you like to do?
I'm gonna hit it with my rock, and I'm gonna try and scramble out as fast as I can.
Make an effort to accurately throw your rock on target.
This.
I'm going to say, given your condition, this is actually going to be a desperate act as well.
Okay. That. Okay. So I just want to clarify desperation really quick. Oh, I subtract a d4. Okay. Okay, accuracy minus a d4. Okay. So that is a 4.
Okay. Because the Xerk seemingly in whatever event or situation caused this personnel carrier to be tipped over was extremely physically damaged as part of that process. It's relatively slow moving and only able to either grab at you or propel itself using its upper half. And while you struggle and quickly scramble to your feet, you are able to throw a rock that seemingly stuns the Xerk for a brief moment as it almost lashes out and you feel some of its fingertips almost kind of touch on your shins and legs for a brief moment as you work your way towards scrambling out, seemingly having staved it off of an immediate infection opportunity. But you are able to move out from the personnel carrier, kind of taking great care to avoid cuts. As a matter of fact, go ahead and make a effort to be graceful as you exit this decayed metal porthole.
Okay, yeah. That's fine. Oh, 6?
Okay. So, seemingly avoiding further damage or risking a more natural infection, you emerge unscathed. The Xerk seemingly having difficulty climbing up the elevated foot and a half or so, not able to fully drag itself out of the hole that you created through sheer accident that wear and tear has ultimately caused.
Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Where's Arthur? Where's Arthur?
He's going to be right across the street from you, on the opposite side of the road.
Do I see the other two as well?
They are in the tree line, and at this point in time, I'm going to say, Justin and Josie, you also hear the growing volume of Xerk screams, cries, and utterances coming from the wooded line deeper within.
Do we hear sounds from one inside the vehicle as well?
Presumably, Rose would have let out a bit of an exclamation, having fallen through the floorboarding there.
Sure. In that case, I'm gonna sprint to that opening so that as Rosie is climbing out, I can try to like help her get out. And then I'm just gonna be like, okay, and we're running, and just immediately just who cares about the vehicles? We're getting out of here.
Okay.
I would like to. I'm not taking pictures. Maybe, probably. But I would like to use the zoom on my camera to see if I can get an idea of how many and what direction they're coming from in the wood line. But I'm backing up towards the road. But I'm going to use my camera zoom to see what I might not be able to otherwise see and see if I can notice a number, if they're all going to be running like that other one was.
Okay. So I'm going to say I need all of you now to roll a d4, please.
Oh, God.
2.
Oh.
2. 3. So, Rose. Thank you to our wonderful, amazing, and incredible supportive viewers. The Survivor's top tier equipment is unlocked, and as Justin pulls you from the corroded undercarriage, you almost kind of stumble out and find yourself otherwise thrown to the ground yet again before you're able to scramble back to your feet. But as you do, you see a dead body, not a Xerk, but seemingly a body that died in some way that was maybe more purposefully designed or was dealt with quickly before converting to Xerk. Underneath the truck that still remains standing, wearing what appears to be military gear and garbs, and directly in the figure's hand, slightly outstretched, you catching just the glint as you fall to the ground, appears to be a small pistol in their hand. What you would like to do about that is up to you.
Okay. And I, with a really shaky hand, I'm gonna try and, as quickly as I can step. I'm sorry. And I'm gonna grab the pistol and try and run back towards where everybody is.
Okay. And as you sort of grab it by the end of the barrel, trying to just wrest it free from what is otherwise almost a now permanent and a hardened grip, you ultimately see the hand crash to the ground as you wrest what appears to be some type of semi-automatic pistol from their hand. At this point, though,
Okay.
the woods are beginning to fill with undulations of Xerk, and Josie and Justin, you now see what appears to be a couple dozen moving towards your direction.
Yeah, I'm gonna snap one picture and then I'm just gonna turn to everybody. We need to go. We need to go. Probably. Now.
Yeah, I'm
Wait,
trying to shepherd as much as possible. We are moving.
Okay.
is there
Arthur,
a
are you
safe
doing
way
anything?
for me to? Was there a safe way for me to get on the other side of the truck without going through it? Can I just go around?
You can go around it. Yep, it's still standing.
All right. All right.
So all of you kind of huddle in this collected mass just off the main road, hiding at least one viewpoint with a large truck, and otherwise seeing a considerable amount of Xerk pushing through the forest beyond, though seemingly attracted to the noise, pushing towards the source or origin of commotion rather than maybe being dead set on chasing after you specifically.
We need to go.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's go.
All right, so how are you departing? Are you continuing to push down the road at high speed? Are you creeping through the forest line? What would you like to do?
I've seen enough movies to know you don't go in the woods.
Yeah, but there's stuff to hide behind in the woods. I'm gonna follow whoever takes the lead because I really want to stay for pictures, but I think we should. Oh, I wasn't ready.
If
Quickly.
Arthur takes front, I'll take rear, and we're moving.
I don't want them to see
Okay.
us.
So you eventually begin pushing forward, finding yourselves slowly but carefully shifting around the front of the truck, trying to avoid making noise with the brush and debris directly around you. I'd like everyone to go ahead and make an effort to be graceful, or you can make an effort to lean on your fitness. I will let you decide.
Oh no. I will say that. Well, I don't know how. Well, I'll get there. These dice, though.
That is an 8 for fitness.
Okay.
An 11 for fitness.
6 for grace.
Okay.
8 for grace.
Okay.
Oh my God, look at us. We're doing it. We're staying alive.
So you find these moments in time where all of you provide these stutter steps, almost pushing forward as a collective unit, but seeing a Xerk kind of pop out directly in front of you. Everyone in this uniform hold pattern as you watch it walk by very slowly before continuing to carry on as you're almost sandwiching yourself in between this truck, lining up along the barbed wire gate, trying to obscure your forms at the fencing that sits beyond it. And as you push beyond the collected mass of this checkpoint that seemed to be in place at one point in time, that singular lone Xerk that seems to be standing aimlessly in the middle of the road turns and almost kind of watches as you walk by, but doesn't immediately seem to have a reaction to you. You see the road ahead of you appears largely clear. With each step, the noise of the Xerk nearby begins to dissipate and dwindle the slightest bit. And a separate potential boon or blessing in front of you as, aside from the clearly stripped and, as Rose could certainly attest to, destroyed and decayed military vehicles, there appears to be a rather modern-looking car, dirty on its exterior. The rear window covered largely in dirt, seemingly a mixture of very sporadic rain and a great deal of dust, but as you see the forest line thinning up in advance, probably a couple hundred yards away, a bluish sedan in the distance, also visible on the road on the other side of the barricade now.
I'm going to take some more pictures now that the danger is not so pressing. Just turn around, and especially when our Xerk friend looked at us, they were clearly posing.
You'll notice that Xerk is continuing to watch your collective move away.
Okay, I'm going to keep taking pictures, mostly because that's creepy, and I'm a little unsettled by it. But I'm still walking. I'm like walking backwards. I'm guessing Justin's not going to let me stop, so.
No, absolutely not.
Walking backwards and taking pictures.
Just for my benefit, are there 2 separate vehicles or one vehicle that looks serviceable?
There's one that appears to have been abandoned. You see the driver's side doors open. You can get a vague bluish tinge. Otherwise, it doesn't seem to have the same wear and tear that the military personnel carriers had nearby. Difficult to say whether or not it would run, but it doesn't appear to have been there nearly as long as some of the military vehicles you just walked by.
I think as we're moving, I'll try to just like in a hushed voice to the rest of it be like, we could try to check that vehicle, but if it doesn't run, we're losing time.
Also, if we try to turn it over and it stalls out, it's just going to make more noise and attract them to us. If that door has been open this whole time, there's a good chance that battery is going to be dead.
If it's even there at all.
How do we check? The battery's in the front, right?
Well, one of us gets in, sees if there's a key, and if there is, they turn it one click to see if the lights and things come on.
Okay.
How you feel about driving, Rose?
I know how. I know how.
That's good. That's great. Let's run with that.
Hop in and turn the key, and I'm gonna run up to the front of the vehicle to pop the hood while she turns it, just to like make sure that everything's in working order up there.
I'm keeping an eye out behind us.
Justin, I suppose for you, I'm going to say make an effort to apply your scientific mind here.
Yes.
Josie, go ahead and make an effort to notice your immediate surroundings. But actually, before we get to that, I'm sorry. Who is in the back of this marching order?
It was me.
Okay. Now it's me, because I didn't run up. I'm close to the group, but I'm probably in the back.
So you're trailing
at the edge of the car.
Pedal.
Yes, and I'd be at least at the car.
So
probably
after you've covered about 100 or so yards, and you've let the cries of the Xerk sort of dissipate away into the distance, there's a bit of a still calm that kind of falls around you, despite the tension of only moments ago. And Josie, it's because you are looking for these opportunities. It is because you are specifically dialed in to try and capitalize on moments like this. You see your previous posing test subject, the Xerk, motionless in the road, turn. The head matching the movement of the body as you see it shift in your direction for the first time. You see it almost stand as any of you would in that exact same situation or position. Doesn't seem to move, and there's no immediate sign of action or activity. And as you stop, you hear Justin working around towards the front of the vehicle, Rose slowly, cautiously approaching the driver's side, Arthur just looking to sweep around the opposite side as your collected group begins to make ready a hopeful escape and getaway. And this Xerk, as it turns to you, almost tilts its head, a curious peak. This vague, hinted semblance of alertness, awareness. And then you see it rear back and retch its head and begin to emit out this screeching howl
Come on.
Quicker than before, and without hesitation, you see Xerk piling out from the wood line, quick and aggressive, all of them almost seemingly chasing the direction of this cry out. And you now turn to see a wave of 3 at least Xerk shambling quickly or moving down the road, with the exception of 2 Xerk that seem to almost blast through a small collection as they begin sprinting about as quick as any of you, if not faster, would be able to sprint. Pushing
Car.
Get in.
pushing
Get
your
in,
direction.
now.
Did it turn
Get
over?
the light,
Is
come on.
Justin in the car?
My science check was at, it was a well-prepared check, right?
Just a science check.
Just a normal science check, then that's a total of 6.
Okay. So what are you looking to assess from the vehicle's makeup right now exactly?
I'm just trying to make sure that it's gonna run, right? I just like, as she's turning the key, I just want to like make sure that as the engine like turns over, just want to like have eyes on it very quickly, just know, okay, is this working before slamming it back down? It's just a quick, is this gonna get us somewhere?
Sure.
Check.
So, Rose, as you approach the driver's side of the vehicle, you see what appears to be a folded sheet of notebook paper, slightly misshapen. And as you reach in to grab at it and hear the scream come from behind you, you open it up to see this small fob folded up within it, a digital car key, essentially, with the mechanism still kind of intact and remaining in place, and a note hastily scribbled. It would seem, I had to go, can't explain. Hopefully it helps.
Get in. Please get in.
And
Go on,
as
get in.
you mash the fob directly into the ignition place, you do see, with actually relatively limited noise, Justin, some of the external exposed cylinders underneath the engine head itself kick out. This car's engine and what's underneath the hood doesn't immediately seem to present any significant signs of decay. This was likely left here recently.
All right, it runs fine. Slam the hood. Throwing people in the car. We're going.
Just getting
Okay,
in. Just getting
sure.
in.
Get in
Rose,
the car.
hit
Get
it.
in the car. Closing the door. After seeing that one Xerk and seeing them like notice and kind of have some weird awareness, I'm gonna reach over everybody and start locking the doors.
Okay.
I don't know.
Is anybody
I'm
else
scared.
taking any immediate action?
Are the windows up?
Seatbelt. Rose, hit
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
Once-
okay.
yeah.
Okay. Click.
Seatbelt.
And then I'm gonna.
Windows up. Doors locked. Go.
Sure.
Yeah.
So,
I'm.
Rose, make for me, I'm gonna say either an effort to focus on a expedited departure, or I will allow you to make an effort using your raw acuity. It is up to you.
Focus. Definitely.
Okay.
Double major. You have to be able to focus. That's one of the few things I'm good at. Okay. 18. No, 15. I'm so sorry. 7 plus 8 is 15.
Okay. So, immediately with a quick glance at the rear view mirror and seeing 2 Xerks sprinting after you and this small horde collected behind them, in whatever can equate to a half peel out in this circumstance, is probably what you get, noticing that the initial takeoff is not actually sort of explosive. You get a very definitive impression that at least some components in this car are electric in nature. And Justin, you didn't happen to see a conventional battery underneath the hood, only noticed that the initial spur of the engine kicked in to seemingly suggest it was functional. But
Yeah, the
as you
Prius.
peel out, it seems as if you are ready to quick leave the horde in the distance. Though as you are driving away, These Xerk on the road are fast. And it takes a short while for Rose to get up to top speed. And what car positionings do we have as Rose is driving?
Shotgun.
I would imagine that I ran back and hopped in the back seat.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in the back seat, so I can turn and take pictures through the dirty window. I'm very upset about it, but I'll do what I can.
Let's say I'm back left.
Justin
Sure,
and
I'm back right.
Josie diving like a flesh torpedo towards the back of the car. This Xerk seems to almost leap in full stride, crashes through the back of the windshield and begins clawing at the interior as you are trying to flee from the scene. The other Xerk, having leapt and ultimately fallen short of latching onto the vehicle itself, but you are now inside a vehicle as this Xerk is in the process of trying to get inside.
Is
Rocks.
it possible for me to take that pistol that Rose was able to acquire?
Yeah, it's in my lap, so yeah.
Take it.
I don't.
Just turn
Gun
around.
safety who? I don't know.
Check
Okay.
the safety and just try to just point blank fire one into it and give us all tinnitus.
Okay, go ahead and make an effort to be as accurate as possible.
I'm trying to slink down into the seat, and I'm like awkwardly butt on the floor of the back, and I'm like
Oh my
kicking. Oh no!
Did you shoot Josie?
Oh god!
Oh my god.
Oh my god!
Okay.
Stop swerving so much.
So instead of hitting it clean in
Okay.
the head, eliminating it outright, you seem to jerk at the last moment, loosing a round into its shoulder, causing it to flail, spinning around, its hand still inside this cut glass, seemingly gripping on as it is almost off the edge. At this point in time, Rose's speed beginning to accelerate and pushing forward as this Xerk continues to try and maintain its grip. I'll provide Josie or Justin an opportunity to try and free themselves of this unwanted passenger.
Oh, I just want to kick at it awkwardly from the seat, like I'm in the floor. So I don't really know if I'm even close to hitting it. Justin might have a.
Sure.
Make an effort to use your brawling. And Justin, what are you doing?
So we've all got like a backpack or some kind of bag on us, right? And so
Rudimentary
I'm going to
equipment, yep.
just very quickly, having not buckled in yet, grab the backpack off my back and swing it around as fast as possible. Just try to hit the Xerk with the fabric of the bag in the face and arms, trying to just shove it off the back, but having a little bit of a buffer between Xerk and exposed skin.
So using the leveraged positioning provided to you by Josie's kicks, which equates to, Josie, you're a 6, seemingly risking some of the clawed components of this Xerk. It's slowly trying to fight its way back, and as it's just poking its head through, trying to claw its way in, Josie seems to be able to pin the side of its face between the glass and her foot on the opposite, almost squaring it and holding it in place for a brief moment as you sort of heave this massive thrust at the stationary target. I'm going to say your brawling is well prepared here.
Okay. All right. Take that. All right. And this is, because this is a physique and I took the mechanic feat, I roll a d6 instead of a d4 for anything well prepared using physique. Is this just a straight physique?
Yes. Or no, sorry, this is brawling.
This is brawling. Okay.
Yes.
So 12.
Okay, so as Justin pulls back the bag, you see him almost kind of grip the bottom, quickly like shifting and shucking around the internal components. You hear him tap the bottom as the sound of almost some kind of tin bowl or hard utensil material rings out before this massive, almost sort of a door knocker slam slides into the Xerk before you see it tumbling off the back of the car, unable to maintain its grip. As the tension slows for a brief moment, Rose's focus shifts back to gaining some more speed as you find yourself moving down the road yet again. For the time being, no immediate danger.
After about 5 seconds, I'm gonna scramble. I'm gonna like, shit. I'm gonna scramble up and go to take the picture that is long since lost now. Shit. Would have been a good one.
Sometimes it's better to stay alive than get the perfect picture.
I would like to just take a look down at the gun in my hand, and my hand's going to shake a little bit, and I'm just going to drop it back in Rose's lap and just start rubbing my hands together. What kind of weapon was it?
It's a semi-automatic pistol. It seems to have a rack slide magazine. How much ammo? Hard to say. I'd suppose, given your history and training, you'd have more than enough opportunity to see that it is serviceable. Seems to work well. It's nothing fancy. Probably a standard issue 15-round pistol. What it has left in it, yet to be explored or discovered.
Like a Beretta?
Yeah, it would be similar to a 9mm Beretta. Is anybody doing anything else as the car's progress seems to indicate your collective progress towards your next happenstance?
There's no chance that, or I should say, is there a chance if I keep the radio on low volume and turn it on, can I scan for any activity anywhere on the radio?
Sure. Make an effort to utilize your science for me while you do this, please.
Okay. I start with AM because, but yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
While she's doing that, can I rummage through the glove compartment to see if there's anything useful?
Yeah, sure. Make an effort to, yeah, we'll say this is, make an effort to notice things of use then.
12.
Okay. So, it's mostly static. There doesn't appear to be anything of significant value, and the best that you can do is make an educated guess on leaving it on a frequency that might yet be likely to be utilized on some kind of larger scale broadcast. The static dissipates away as you begin to turn it down just a little bit, but otherwise nobody is broadcasting into the blind for the moment.
Okay.
That was a
Is
7 from
anybody
my
looking
notice.
to? Okay. Is anybody looking to do anything else right away?
I'll just take a moment as this is happening up front and they're looking through things just to be like, you good? Yeah, you not cut? Right? Just kind of doing a quick check-in with Josie.
Yeah.
Hands, arms, legs, feet,
Clean.
no
clear.
blood. All right.
I'll do a quick cursory scan to clear. This is going great.
At this point in time, you've traveled on foot for a considerable distance and ultimately have covered a fair bit of ground in the stillness and less chaotic royal following your immediate departure. Rose, you would notice it seems as if there's probably a good couple 100 miles of travel listed as distance to empty still in your vehicle. You could probably cover a fair bit of ground in this vehicle, and if resupplied, it seems to be running in such a way that would suggest it would continue on. But due to the distance traveled on foot, the slight hurdle we'll call the initial military checkpoint that you moved past, and now a much more casual amount of travel, you've ultimately drifted into night. Quick setting sun as it seems to be getting later into the fall, though not immediately providing any super cold or any concerning environmental hazards for the moment. The ground that you're on is certainly much flatter as you've gotten out of some of the limited woodland area in the SoCal area, especially moving eastward towards the desert. However, at that point, all of you, especially with the sun setting, would see a pair of headlights appear behind you after a couple hours of driving. The open, flat road, seemingly providing for a lot of visual perception, especially for bright lights dancing around the interior of the vehicle. Does anybody have an action they would like to take in response right away?
I would like to pick up the pistol again, eject the magazine, check how many rounds we have, and then ask Josie, can you use one of these?
I mean, I've used one before. It's not what I prefer to shoot with. But I'm not a terrible shot.
So after I check how many rounds are left in the magazine, then I'll hand the gun to Josie. With that window blown out, you're going to have the best shot if that car gives us trouble.
It appears as if the pistol started with a total of 4 rounds, 3 of them now remaining.
Okay. I'm gonna put the gun down very briefly. Again, I forgot the window was broken out, so this is perfect. I know it's dark, and I know the lights are gonna be coming up against us. I'm gonna try to zoom again with the camera and see if I can see into the vehicle to see if I can see how many, or, I know it's gonna be ridiculously hard if it's even possible.
An effort to focus in on these details at such a distance. I'm gonna say, given the low light, the travel, the distance, you're also doing so as a desperate act. Yes.
Okay. Oh no. You say focus. Oh God, we're gonna die. That's not great. That's a 4.
Okay. And at a great distance, the entirety of the interior is silhouetted and blobby, and you're not able to really make out individual counts. But as you are continuing to travel forward at this point in time, I'll say, Rose, are you looking to do anything specific right now?
Do we think that it's bad or it's good? Do we think it's bad or do we think it's good?
There's very little.
Do I think what I would like to try to do, since we don't know what's happening here, is I would like to try to keep my eyes trained on the ground in front of us, so that if we have to make a hard turn, or if I need to divert us somehow, that I can do so as safely as I'm trying to channel my inner baby driver right now. So I'm really trying, I want to make sure I can execute if I have to.
I'm going to say any attempt to make a focus effort otherwise is going to be a desperate act then.
Okay. This is going really well. Focus. Okay. Whoop. All right, I'll count that. That is a 4 + 6, 10.
Okay, perfect. So immediately Rose piles in, begins gripping the wheel tightly, and you feel the car accelerate gently as it seems as if this vehicle at some great distance is as operable as yours at the very least. It's traveled you for the last several minutes at free open traveling speeds. Is anyone looking to do any other preparatory measures?
When I searched through the glove box, and I would like to also search the armrest, did I find anything of use?
There's an owner's manual that's still in there. Empty candy bar wrapper. Appears to be one plastic glove that has a rip in it and a little bit of blood on the outside of it. Nothing of significant value left in the vehicle, it seems.
I'm going to take the owner's manual.
Okay.
Put it in my backpack.
Okay. And then Josie and Justin, either of you taking any specific measures?
I am sitting right behind the driver's seat, so I'm just gonna with Rose's consent, put my hands on her shoulders and just be like, "You got this. You got this." Just try to be encouraging here, because I got nothing. I'm a dude with a backpack.
I think I'm very thankful in this moment that it's dark, so that you can't see how furiously Rose is blushing right now.
Okay.
I have the gun ready. The camera is just dangling. Got both hands on the pistol. That is not nearly as comfortable in my hands, but
Okay. So, Josie and Justin, in short order, it is made pretty clear to you that this vehicle in pursuit is gaining ground. It seems to be pushing pace aggressively for one reason or another. And you eventually hear what sounds like a muscle car style engine getting closer and closer. The absence of a rear windshield, or at least a massive breach in its overall structure, now gives way to the sound of this roaring 8-stroke engine that is beginning to cover ground on you quickly.
oof.
Would you like to
Can
do?
I get lower in the seat? I'm kind of trying to listen to see when they get really close, but I'm trying to stay low for now, and I'm gonna keep an eye on the side.
Okay.
By driver's side, left side.
Okay. Justin and Arthur, are either of you looking to respond to the vehicle's tightening approach?
Not a whole lot I can do, but I'm just gonna kind of steel my nerves and slink down a little bit in the seat and just look over at Rose and you've got this.
Which way is south?
I'll check my compass.
Okay. It would be to the right if you were just looking to push immediately out into off-road territory. But otherwise, you now hear this car behind you beginning to honk, and you're seeing the lights quickly illuminate the interior, quickly dissipate, almost this car's signal lights flashing at you.
I look and see, now that they're a little bit closer, who's in this car.
Sure, make an effort to notice. I'm going to say, with the light in your face and it being dark out, it's still going to be a desperate act.
Cool, awesome. I roll a d6 desperation die. So,
Cool. If they get within a car's length of us, I'm jerking the wheel to the right and slowing down slightly so we can see who's in the car.
it's a 2 notice.
2.
I
So-
look right as they blink the lights on. Just, oh god!
Yeah, just absolutely entire eye flooded with white light. Justin unable to focus as you hear the lurch of the engine kick forward. Yes, Arthur?
When the lights were flashing, did it seem like random flashing or like Morse code?
Okay. I'm gonna say with your training, you would probably have a decent idea of how to discern between those two. Make an effort to focus on the difference between the two in a rather erratic situation.
Five. How do you think that is?
Tensions are running high, the car is moving quickly, but you don't get the impression right away that this is meant to be organized communication in any way. And at this point in time, Rose, you have seemingly been caught up as this vehicle now appears to be a rather large truck-styled vehicle. and it is probably within a couple car lengths of you as you travel forward.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
I'm gonna wait until I'm gonna wait until I think they're close enough that I'm gonna I'll say, okay, hold on, and I'm gonna jerk the wheel to the right, and immediately take my foot off the gas. I still want to be maintain the same forward momentum, but I want to immediately pull my foot off the gas and slow down so that we can try and get a glimpse in the car as it passes.
Okay. So, as you see this car beginning to slowly cover ground, it not decelerating as you slowly slide out of the way. Rose, the interior of the vehicle is briefly rocked. Your efforts to focus on the nearby surroundings, taking away from some of the immediate focus on the road as we had previously discussed. And all of you then hear, more or less in immediate unison, this shot fire out. And immediately the window next to Rose is shattered and destroyed as this bullet seems to rip through, not immediately damaging Rose in any kind of significant way, but you do see now as the back of your hand appears peppered with small holes, some of the stray pellets from a shotgun blast having ripped through the window next to you. What would you like to do?
Cry.
I'm going to oh my god. I'm going to try to crawl my way over. I'm gonna get the window to Justin. I'm gonna try to, as soon as the window is down, I'm aiming for a back tire on the vehicle.
Okay. I'm gonna say make an effort to focus. Make an effort to employ your accuracy in a desperate situation.
All right, Joseph. Line up your shot.
Arthur, as you are quickly arcing around, you happen to reach under the seat. Quick ability of manually adjusting your physical position, and upon doing so, you grab what appears to be almost some kind of garment bag type of material. And as you sort of pull it out, you see a black, completely opaque bag with ARK Industries written across it.
What's in the bag?
So kind of quickly tearing it open, it appears to be a leather jacket of some kind, as well as some kind of tightly folded, almost like they were vacuum pressed into this bag, but tightly folded leather jacket, as well as what appear to be extremely thick, like dungaree warehousing kind of pants. Basically an extra protective layer around if you were willing to deal with maybe some slight discomfort from the temperature offset. Also, we currently have a hype train going, so efforts that you make will either cancel out your desperation or you'll be provided an automatic well-prepared bonus. So this car is now making their intentions perhaps a little bit more known, and they open fire again as they try to catch up.
I rolled a 6.
What would you like to do?
I rolled a 6 to hit the back tire. My 3s canceled each other out.
Okay, so as you loose your shot, you hear a shot ricochet off the outer panel of the vehicle. There is this brief sort of skidding that seems to veer it almost slightly off-road as it eventually settles back in after having provided a little bit of ground. Having to pick up from a bit of a slow start, you find your vehicle now peppered with small arms fire from a distance. and the engine again kicks up. Rose, what would you like to do? Actually, I'll need you to make a effort to harness your grit, maintaining grip on the wheel and focus on the road.
But well prepared, because hype train.
It is well prepared, yes, because.
All right, grit. Okay, at least it's not a negative score. Okay. Well prepared, so I add a D4. I'm so sorry.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Okay. Okay, 6.
Okay, so as you feel the car veering, your hands stinging out of control from this previous blast, small arms fire peppering the back of your vehicle, you hear this erratic skidding and steering around, but Rose is able to maintain focus, kind of quick shaking off the sting from the hand and gripping the wheel tightly, remaining focused on the road. Josie, your shot seemingly on target, but not disabling the tire. Justin, Arthur, or Josie, what would you like to do?
All right, Josie, put a bag down on the back and rest your arms on that to use it as a brace to help steady your shot. And then once you do that, breathe out slowly as you pull that trigger and try to take out the tire again.
Do I get the impression that these tires are like protected or like defensive? No. Okay. Well, okay. All right. We're in front of it now, right?
You're still in front of it. Yep. But you at this point, I'm gonna say hear the with their intentions made known, you begin to hear the car actually pick up to a much more accelerated pace.
I'm laying on the gas.
Okay.
I'm gonna follow Arthur's advice, like basically piece by piece as he's delivering instructions. I'm going to do it as I go. Take a deep breath, just like I would capture a picture. I'm gonna aim for the front tire this time, since that's all. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have a better view of that.
It's
for whatever
the sort of extended nose of the truck.
Are they right behind us?
They're probably about 30 feet.
But they're not at like an angle. Okay, I'm aiming for the windshield. I'm gonna try to limit their visibility then. Driver's side, sorry. What?
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Okay.
Driver's side.
Make an effort to employ your accuracy on a critical moment. I'm gonna say, looking into the lights at night, this would have been a desperate act, though given the hype train, you're going to make a straight effort to be accurate here.
Okay. Ooh, okay.
Oh, actually, no, I'm sorry. You roll both your desperation and your well prepared.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay.
With my
Put each other out.
preparation, does it help her at all?
Okay.
She already has a well prepared bonus, so she's probably with your wisdom and insight and advice is now as stable as she is likely to be. Josie?
That's what flavored the well prepared from chat. 10.
10. Okay. So you again hear this shot ring out from the back of the now exposed rear windshield for your vehicle. All of your ears quickly fill with this high-pitched ringing. Rose, your hands stinging as you begin to hear this skidding back behind you. However, before that resolves,
Oh no.
you hear another shot ring out from your pursuing vehicle. A figure extending up out of the passenger side, seemingly aiming alongside towards Rose's driver's side door. Rose, as the piercing sting of a round cuts through your shoulder, I need you to make an effort to harness all of your grit to maintain control of the vehicle.
Okay, that's a 6. It's still hype train, so what do I do? Tell me what to do. I'm gonna die.
So you are well prepared. So you will add a D4 to this as well.
Oh, that's a 4. 10?
Okay. And as you hear again this shattering glass, the last remnants of Rose's protective force dancing around the interior of the vehicle, another shot from Josie ringing out the back. The skidding immediately begins to swell as you hear the truck smash into an off-placed rock just outside the road before you see it lift up and upend itself.
Stop.
Seeing you
Stop the car.
free
No,
from-
are you crazy? No.
We finish them off. We've got ammo and supplies.
What would you like to do?
Take a vote.
I'm dropping the gun.
I will look at Arthur for a really long moment, as long as I can safely look away from the road. And I will pull my foot off the gas. I don't stop the car, but I will pull my foot off the gas.
Okay.
Joseph, Justin, this ain't a democracy. I mean, this is a democracy.
I mean, it's a good idea, but I don't know if we're in the best condition to deal with whoever's in that car right now.
1 bullet left.
Floor it again. Let's go.
Okay. And I'll just take off.
The road behind you quickly fills with black. Night taking over and the sound of wind pushing through your now shattered protections. Rose, your shoulder. Significantly injured, but not grievously so. Your collected force pushing past an immediate onslaught of some would-be assailants. But you've managed to stay alive. For everyone who was with us tonight, stay safe, stay alive.